Darth Maul Black, White and Red is a limited series that came out this year with 4 issues, and I finally got around to reading it all. Now, set before The Phantom Menace, this series really feels like a group of one-shots, essentially. Each issue being a different mission that Palpatine has sent his apprentice, Darth Maul, out to complete. Now, it feels like one-shots because there's no real narrative through line through the 4 issues, and each issue has a different writing team and artistic team behind it. Now, like the title of the series implies, though, the entire run is inked in only 3 colours, black, white and red. Personally, I absolutely love the colouring of this series. It reminds me in some way of Sin City, and I grew up reading those graphic novels, probably way too young as well. I'm a big fan of like minimalist stuff though, so having minimal use of colour here I especially like, especially when Maul is already so imposing, dressed all in black. His black and red tattooed skin and the whites of his eyes, they all look just fantastic on the page. I do wish there was a hint of yellow in his eyes, but I understand why they didn't do that. Now, like I said, there's no real massive narrative through line. These are just sort of like 4 individual missions that he goes out on, but there is like maybe a tiny little bit of a seed planted where Maul will sort of start to question, not openly defy Palpatine, but sort of start to question the missions. Why am I doing this? Why am I killing this person? Why am I doing, what do you want of me? What am I doing this for? It creates just that tiny little bit of tension that we'll see come to blossom when the Clone Wars comes around and those two go head to head. So it's something that I appreciated, but it is a very tiny, minuscule part of the run. Now, all that said, I actually don't really think there is a single bad issue in this run. I think some are better than others, for sure, but I actually enjoyed all of them a decent amount, and each feels pretty different from the other. Issue number 1, Ghost Ship, has Maul find a prison ship that has gone dark, inside of which sits a couple of Palpatine's enemies that he once gotten rid of. This issue plays out like a little bit of a horror story with some really fun art designs of creatures. I thought this was a Star Weird at first. For a hot minute, it's not. It's a pretty fun time watching Maul, though, just go around this ship, slowly hunting down these weird cult guys that have taken over. I really enjoyed this one. Issue 2, The Remainders. It might be my favourite one, I'm not sure. It's from the perspective of a colony called Moonbender, and the residents there call themselves the Remainders, and they have sworn to protect the colony from outsiders, and one outsider that shows up one day is of course Darth Maul. So you meet this small cast of characters of the Remainders, and in just a few short pages and panels, you find yourself actually liking them and caring for them. They do a really good job of that in just a few pages and panels. And despite being with them for such a small amount of time, once Maul stows up and starts dispatching them, you actually really kind of feel sad for them. This one is pretty great, honestly. I really enjoyed this issue. It was a lot of fun to read, a lot of nice art, and though this one panel did make me laugh a little bit, but I think this one might have been my favourite. Issue number 3, The Mission, probably has the least amount going on in it, really, in terms of story. Once again, Maul is sent out on a mission to kill someone who knows Palpatine, who he really is, and is attempting to blackmail him. What I do like about this issue, though, is these large spread pages that shows Maul just absolutely wrecking everyone, and it's a ton of fun. I really like reading these ones, and there is a few of these massive spread pages in this issue. It's a good bit of fun. Finally, number 4, Peace and Quiet. Palpatine sends Maul to a temple with the request to meditate, to get some peace and quiet and meditate until he arrives. Sadly, Maul's meditation is ruined by some loud, obnoxious hunters who decide to disturb the peace, and things go pretty much how you'd imagine. I like how these panels here just sort of show how menacing Maul can be with just a word or two. Now, I really enjoyed all the cover arts for these issues. I am a cover art enjoyer. I love cover art. And I liked a lot of the variants too. I really don't know if there's a single bad one. If you like Darth Maul and want to see some great art of him, check out the cover art for this series. So yeah, overall, look, I really like this little run. It is by no means essential reading in my opinion. I don't think it's going to sell Darth Maul to anyone who isn't already sold on the character. But I've been rewatching Clone Wars recently, and honestly, Maul is just climbing that list of my favorite characters. That series does so much for him and Rebels. So for me, this was just like the perfect thing to read at this point in time. It gave me these fun, short little stories, a lot of nice art and imagery of my favorite spiky rage boy. So yeah, check it out if you want. I recommend it. It's a decent bit of fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, join me here and over on TikTok. I like talking about Star Wars, all aspects of it. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you. Always.